Welcome into another episode in our quick and efficient workout series. Today's episode focuses on the arms, the biceps, triceps, brachialis, and forearms. And we're going to hit these muscles using a combination of just body weight, bands, and dumbbells. So you should be able to do this from home and at the gym. Whether you are a novice or intermediate lifter, this is a great workout for getting volume specifically to your arms. So if you want to develop that muscle or those muscles in particular, you've come to the right place. Also, there's an entire series of quick and efficient workouts that you can follow along with me at my studio, where I guide you through the sets, reps, and rationale as to how to put on muscle quickly and efficiently in minimal time, broken down by body part. So subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. But let's get into this workout for our arms. This workout's going to take advantage of one of my favorite fitness techniques, and that is called antagonist paired sets. An antagonist paired set is a set where we do one muscle and immediately go into a set where we train the opposite muscle. And for arms, that's super simple to remember. We're going to go biceps right into triceps. Now, for this first exercise in the superset, I want to make sure that we hit the peak of our biceps. That's the small muscle up here that makes the bump. That peak is known as the short head of the biceps. And that biceps short head contracts when we supinate our wrist, meaning our first exercise needs to be done with the palms up. We'll superset that with something for the triceps. Let's get into exercise one, which will be a palms up dumbbell curl. You can do these a few different ways. A lot of times when people do their curls, they'll start with the dumbbells right at their sides. And as they come up, they're going to twist. That's completely fine. I'm going to today start with my palms up and curl with my palms up the entire time. We're going to go for 10 reps, coming down slow and controlled. The goal is, again, hitting that short head of the biceps. Flexing, coming down under control, hitting that short head of the biceps. Flex, down under control. Now, you'll be tempted often when doing curls to swing or to tilt to one side. And while I am okay with you doing one arm at a time, try not to swing, try not to tilt. That first exercise, again, that palms up curl for the short head, we're going to pair with an elbow extension exercise that kind of occurs in the same plane. The banded tricep pushdown. The tricep pushdown is one of my favorite exercises, but you need a cable machine to do it. Unless, of course, you have a band. This is a nice band. It's relatively thick, and it works well for this exercise. You could do this with almost any loop band or even handled band. You simply need to throw it over a door, throw it over a pull-up bar, or any secure kind of mounted fixture. From this position, I'm going to lock my elbows at my sides, making sure that they don't come out in front of the body. Then I'm going to get right kind of underneath my band. Now, if this was a door frame, I couldn't get much closer, but in this situation, I'm going to be right here. And now all I have to do is extend my elbows, squeezing my triceps at the bottom. One of the best parts, guys, about the the banded tricep extension is as you get stronger, meaning as you get better leverage and flex, the band actually picks up more tension. So it's really going to create a strong contraction at the bottom. Now, if you just want a harder exercise, simply choke up on the band and start with your hands higher. The higher you start with your hands, the more band tension you're going to pick up at the bottom of the lift.
Taking a break from this episode to tell you a little bit about my coaching company, Core Coaching Method. More specifically, our app-based training. We partnered with Train Heroic to bring app-based training to you using the best technology and best user interface possible. You can join either my Home Heroes team, or you can train from home with bands and dumbbells, or Elite Physique, which is a female bodybuilding focused program where you can train at the gym with equipments designed specifically to help you develop strength as well as the glutes, hamstrings, quads, and back. I have more teams coming planned for a variety of different fitness levels. But what's cool about this is when you join these programs, you get programming that's updated every single week. The sets to do, the reps to do, exercise tutorials filmed by me with me and my team. So you'll get my exact coaching expertise as to how how to perform the movement. It's a really cool training community, and you can try it completely free for 7 days. Can't wait to see you in the Core Coaching Collective, my app-based training community.
So a quick caveat and some options if you don't have a band and you are using only dumbbells. The triceps is not my favorite exercise to hit with dumbbells. However, if you want a swap in place of that band, I would encourage you to do a single dumbbell overhead extension where you get a good stretch at the bottom, extend up, come down, get a good stretch at the bottom, extend up. This is not ideal, but it is a fine alternative. But our first superset, again, is those palms up curl into that banded extension. Let's do 2 sets to failure on both exercises. So once you've done your palms up curl and your traditional tricep extension, we're gonna move into our second antagonist paired set. This will be for the brachialis and the longer head of the biceps, which kind of occupy the middle of the arm between the peak of the bicep and where the meat of your tricep is. We're gonna pair that with another form of that banded extension. But for the hammer curl here, again, more of a forearm and brachialis exercise, we're gonna just do curls to failure, just like we did with our palms up curl. Except this time, we're keeping our palms neutral. And notice, I'm grabbing the bottom of the dumbbell. It's a nice little pro tip for these hammer curls. The key here, coming up and down slow. Coming up and down slow. Now a good hammer curl is going to be something you feel on your forearms. You're not twisting. This is not a supination thing. It's all about an elbow flexion thing. So you might even be able to go a little heavier on these. But the key to the hammer curl is the dumbbell stays vertical and we get into that forearm, we get into that brachialis. Now, we're going to pair this with another tricep extension using that same band, but we're just going to change our position a little bit. When we did this last time, we went straight down, and that's great for hitting the triceps. You get what's called the short and the medial head pretty good, but there's 3 heads to the tricep. One of those heads doesn't do a whole lot until you change this kind of shoulder position from being neutral to being more up here. Now you've seen lots of exercises like this, but this guy is just a banded overhead extension. Whatever you do, like I could imagine letting go of it right there would be catastrophic. Just keep that thing right above your skull. Maybe even tap the back of your head, brush your hair. It's not that complicated, folks. It's the same thing we did here. The only difference is our shoulder position and our foot position so we can get into that long head of the triceps. Again, for those of you who don't have a dumbbell, or rather only have dumbbells, don't have a band, I want to show you a little alternative. It's called a skull crusher. I'm not even going to try to do this with 30s. I'll rip my elbows right off. Skull crusher is done lying down. What do you know? I've changed that shoulder position. And from here, I go up and I come down. And after a few reps, I start to feel those triceps. And again, I'm just going against kind of resistance. However, I prefer the band. And if you have a band, that's what I want you to do. So let's get our second loop through our hammer curl and our overhead band extension superset, again, taking it to failure. All right, you guys, so that's it for our workout. 4 movements for each major part of the arms. Let's break it down again one more time so it makes sense, and I want to give you tools for progression. Our first couplet is a palms up curl for that short head of the bicep and a traditional band extension. 2 to 3 sets taken to failure should be more than sufficient. I would start with 2 to failure of each. Our second couplet, the hammer curl and the overhead extension, get into the brachialis, the forearm, and the long head of the tricep. Again, I would take those to failure, especially because one component of the entire exercise is banded. So you might get more than you think. You could do 30 reps with that band. I don't care, your triceps don't care. Just push your muscles. Let's say your first week, you do 10 reps of each curl and you fail at 10. The next week, you could aim to fail at 12. Or you could do what I like to do, which is just go from 2 sets of each couplet. The following week, go to 3. The following week, go to 4. And if you do this workout for 4 weeks and you end up doing 5 of each, your arms will be torched. And that progression model is very simple. We're just adding a set each week. If you go from starting off with 8 sets to finishing with over 20, your arms will adapt and change. Be sure to hit subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified anytime we drop a new video. Hit the like so more people find this video and know that we're dropping an episode for every muscle group in this series so you can train at home on limited time with minimal equipment. Stay tuned for the next one.